tonight, the energy just, it wasn't there. The vibe with energy was not there. Got off to a decent start, and then, to your point, 41 points in any quarter is just too much, and 77.5 is like totally out of control. But a lot of the things that we worked on, a lot of the things that we were improving upon, did not execute that tonight.
Doug, how much is kind of a focal point becoming the growth and the development, of some of the younger guys, with me getting a chance tonight, Max getting more of an opportunity recently? How much of a theme is that becoming for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get them out there, and we want to make sure that they get the experience, and we're going to have to live through the ups and downs of what they do. I mean, whether it's the speed of the game, whether it's the physicality of the game, whether it's the tricks of the big guys, whether it's the tricks of the guards for Nick. Like, those are things that player development, skill work, scrimmaging, none of that is any sort of close replica of what you're going to experience when you look across and it's the Joker, or you look across and it's Murray, and they are dealing in a two-man game, and you are the two that are in it. You got to communicate, you got to be physical, all those little things. How much physicality can you apply without getting a foul? When you get your hand in there, how does he, cause a foul and get to the free throw line? I've seen Max with Adams, he held him off with one arm and grabbed the rebound with the other. And then I watched Max do the same thing in the 2 games later, and I said to myself, okay, the kid's learning. Well, tonight, these are high-level learning environments that we're going to have to live through some of that with them for sure.
Doug, going back to training camp, one of the things you talked about with Keegan was hunting shots.
Yeah.
Of course, he got hurt and missed the first part of the season. What have you seen just with the progress in that sense of him hunting and taking the right kind of shots?
Yeah, listen, Keegan is a warrior, man. He's working through stuff, so I'm not worried about him being there before, and just you're fighting through it. And I respect that part of it. As far as the hunting and all that, we saw him play some really good basketball, and then all of a sudden he's dinged up again, and he's trying to work through it. So, great kid, incredible basketball player. He'll be fine. We just need some good luck for him to kind of find his way out there. But he defends the best guy. He switches off, he takes any challenge that you throw in front of him. So we talk about shots, I ain't worried about shots. The kid makes shots. He makes shots with a splint on and tape on his neck. So love him to death. Yeah.
Coach, when you look at the development of the younger guys, whatever, specifically Nick and Maxime, how do you feel about how they're out there competing? Are you satisfied with the way they're competing?
One of the things that I measure is is their head down? Like, how are you vibing in that particular instance? Because it's a learning thing. Like, you're playing against a champion, a 3-time MVP, or however many MVPs he's got. So, and then the same thing for Murray, he's Olympian, all these different things. You just go and compete and play with a level of confidence and physicality that we don't put our head down. It's okay. And I tell them sometimes, he shoot a shot and, he misses it, and or he doesn't take it, and I'm looking at him like, yo, man, take the shot, be confident. And you gotta play a confident style of basketball. So there's a lot to that. And really, the 2 things that probably stand out is the confidence and the physicality. I want you to play confident. I want you to be confident. I want you to approach everything out there with confidence. But I also want you to approach it with physicality, because when they approach it with physicality, there is a consequence to that, because you're playing against somebody. And when you put your hands on somebody, they normally respond. And I need them to be in that hot fire so that they feel what that's like, and then don't back down. We got you. I'm gonna run out there if something jump off, don't worry about it. You just do what you do and do it with physicality and do it as a team and do it with the right purpose, and we'll live with all the rest.
Doug, Devin just played 2 games in the G League back-to-back, and then this is the 3rd game in 30 nights for him. He looked pretty solid. Just
Yeah.
where is he at with you? And he hasn't played here for almost a month, so how do you get him back in the rotation, or is that a plan?
I mean, with Devin, I've played 3 games. The 3 games is tough, but he was prepared and ready to go, and I think that is a big sign for him as he continues to grow in his career. One thing that we always wanted, we want to feel his physicality in the defensive part of it. There's a log jam in many of those positions, so this is part of being a young player and working your way through, sending him to the G League and getting those minutes and all that type of stuff is to, one, keep him in shape, but also at the same time, there's a timing, there's a confidence, there's running a team. There's a lot of different things that he is getting, and just to watch him out there, he looked confident and comfortable and played very aggressive, and I like to see that.
That we've seen in sports many times all across the sporting landscape. When a team gets off to these kind of struggles that you guys are having, guys develop their own agendas. There's a lot of fracture. Talking to Malik, he seems to think that you guys have stayed tight-knit. What do you credit that to, and what does that tell you about the guys you have in that locker room?
Well, first and foremost, that was my message to them tonight was, in family things, you go through a lot of different ups and downs and bumps and experiences and all these different things, but the one thing that is the constant is that in family we stay together and we lock arms and we go out here and we compete at a high level and we fight for each other. And that has been many times we went out, like Denver, we had lost some and then we go into Denver and beat them, like that. Same with Milwaukee, and then, part of learning how to close games and learning how to fight through the last game that we played, there was a 47-second window where we went from up 4 to down 7, I believe that was. It's like an 11-point swing. Like, these are things that are controllable for us, but we have to make sure that we are locked in, and that's where to your point, I believe the family aspect of what we are building here in Sacramento, that part is the rough and the bumpy part, but you have to go through that in life, period. Like, if it was easy, then everybody would do it, but that's just not the case. So understanding that and staying together through that and being, you're not positive like, I like losing, but you're positive like, where we're headed in the right direction. We're doing the right things in practice. We are transferring what we're practicing to the game. Tonight, that did not happen previously. We were seeing boxes and elbows. We were seeing communication. We were seeing physicality. We were seeing game plan discipline. We were seeing those things. And those things are hard. 48 and 24. 48 minutes, 24 seconds at a time. Sounds easy, but it's not.
Doug, I had a similar question, because we all know you're big on the togetherness.
Yep.
You've been here when it was immaculate. You've
Yep.
probably been around when maybe it didn't look so great. What's your honest assessment of where that is, and are you happy with where that is, and could it be better?
It definitely could be better. There's a consistency that's in that's very hard. But those are the things that we can control, and we have to find that level of consistency. Like, you don't go into Milwaukee and beat them, and you don't go into Denver and beat them, and then you don't go into Indiana, who's struggling but a really good finals bred team, and work your way back into the game. Like, all those things, like, where is that level of consistency in that? That's where we have to find it. Because if you find that level of consistency, and all of a sudden you find yourself in ball games, and you have to be in ball games to put yourself in that position so that you can close them out. And we have closers, we have different aspects of what we need, we gotta get ourselves to that. And listen, part of probably the frustrating part for myself, and I'm sure our Kings fans, is, you know, the inability to have a full deck consistently enough to find that rhythm. Like, you ask that question, it's like, well, how frustrated are you when you got that guy, and then you come in and, like, those are the things, though, that we can't control. So we can only control what we can control. And one of the biggest things is our energy and the consistency at which we give that. And that's probably the thing that I want to see from them the most. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Have a good evening.
Right on.